welcome back to the channel. Today we've got the Tynee board mini with the 105 clouds on. You can see that now. So as always, we've got relive tracking in the background, and obviously our remote's tracking too. Usually that's pretty consistent the whole way around. So this is the smaller battery that you can get. Now there's actually 3 configurations on this board. When it came out, there was just 2 configurations. You could choose between a 5 amp hour Samsung cell, and I think it was about $20 more. You could get a far larger non-branded battery, but it was a lot larger. So this one comes in at 180 watt hours, and it's apparently good for 19 kilometers or 12 miles. I think it said that was a 65 kilo rider riding at 25 kilometers an hour. So I don't quite expect to get that, especially with the 105 cloud wheels coming in a bit bigger in diameter. So we expect that to drop down, and I'm at 79 kilos at the moment. So obviously that's going to kill the battery a little bit more too. So if you've been around before, you'll know that I generally ride on high or 3 out of 4 speed setting or gear, whatever you want to call it. This one maxes out at 34 on 3. I probably won't be riding as hard today because firstly it's a shorter board, so I don't like to fly around too much on a shorter board, and this is the first real ride I've had of this board. So the last ride I had was on the 90 mils, so this is the first time I've trialled the 105s. Really big difference in terms of comfort and just the confidence to breeze over bumps or cracks or anything like that. I would be ordering the board with the clouds on if you have the extra funds. Strangely, we've already dropped down 1 bar and we're only at 1.4 Ks. So that's an interesting start because the board was definitely fully charged starting this off. So we're going to keep going ahead and hope that that's just a little bit of a read error. Haven't even really opened the board up too much yet. So we'll see how we go with that. We'll report as it goes up or down either direction. I'll let you know. I have to say the clouds do decrease the torque a bit, for the better though. I think even in, you know, for a new rider, and new riders will be looking at this board because it looks more like a traditional skateboard. I think even the first speed mode, if you know, hit the throttle, is actually still quite torquey. So I really found the torque with the 90mm wheels probably a little bit too much for the everyday rider. In the lower gears, obviously you expect that in a speed mode 3 or 4. So yeah, I think that's actually a good thing that comes with the cloud wheels. You still do have the torque there. These are nice, strong little belt drive motors. I will follow up the review here, well, the range test here with a proper review on the board. I think the range test is a good excuse to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and really give you my initial thoughts and while I'm shooting the range test. Super comfortable, Admittedly, when I first tried this board with the 90mm wheels on it, I sold my Meepo Mini 2 ER hub motor board straight away. This board is just so comfortable, feels a lot safer, you really get locked in. I see on the website of this board, Tynee boards quite up front, that they did a copy of the booster board deck, the mini booster board, and yeah, why not? It is exactly the same in appearance, and if they nailed it, why not replicate it? It would be nice to see it maybe a little bit unique, but you know, it's certainly not a critique. It's a good looking board, especially for their first iteration of a mini board when they're not a big established brand. Yeah, go for it. I have to say, I never felt extremely comfortable or locked in on my Meepo Mini 2. It was an awfully quick board, but it feels like maybe power was considered before comfort or safety. I never really felt like I was in control of that board, and really didn't push it in that pro speed mode because of the wobbles. No wobbles to report, traveling on at 32 kilometers an hour, and good timing actually. Look at the remote, 6.1 kilometers, and we've gone down to 2 bars. It's coming up to the top of the hill here, 28 kilometers an hour. That was our low point. Went from 34 down to about 32, 31 most of the way up. So yeah, that's in speed mode 3 out of 4. So certainly can't complain about that. Plenty of bite. The comfort's really great on this board too. I haven't got any foot fatigue at all. Haven't had to stop. Nearly 7 Ks into this ride. That's really great. Alright, 7.1 Ks in. Let's turn around there. Want to be sure we're going to make it back to the start, since the battery was a little bit inconsistent dropping that first bar, but it never did pop back up, so it's a little bit strange. But I mean, at 2 bars now, it's definitely going as expected. So strange, but not alarming. I'll be more worried if it was at the other end of the battery. Forgot to mention that earlier, talking about the wheel. There's no wheel bite to report. I had a little jump around before I left and couldn't really get it to bite. I don't ride with my truck super loose, so your mileage may vary on that, but I'm certainly not worried to carve. I'm more likely to actually get a bit of foot bite with my my back leg. I always hang over the right wheel a little bit, as you can see. Still a 3 bar at the moment, but I'm full throttle, and I've noticed I'm at 31 maxed out there. As I said earlier, it was 34, so a slight drop off in top speed. Now it's swapping between 30 and 31. Nothing too concerning. Still a really comfortable speed. Yeah, we'll see if that happens as we drop down another bar or 2. Actually, as I'm talking away again, great timing on this video. Dropped down to 2 bar at 9.3 Ks. So we're looking, maybe we end up with about 15 or something. First voltage warning now, we're at 10.1 Ks, saying we got 25% battery left. So we'll keep an eye on that. We are still showing 2 bars at the moment. I think the value of this board is just amazing at that $500 US range. I think that's what it starts at, with codes and whatnot applied, if you can still find any of those. No bias involved, certainly not big enough to be getting free boards, so yeah, it's my honest opinion, a fantastic first board. I have seen they offer a hub drive version of this now, but I would tell people to steer towards the belt drive just for the extra torque, and then you can get your choice of wheels too. How you going?
Hey, good. You go past.
Thank you. We're now dropping to that 29-30K mark, cruising along, so I am noticing a little bit of sagging of the battery. Nothing alarming, and you're not going to get nothing too drastic, I think, with the Samsung cells, but certainly not noticing that on the bigger batteries of the other boards I've been riding recently. We've dropped down to 1 bar now, so I'll make sure I turn in the right direction. 11.2 Ks. Beautiful day out here on the sunny coast. Finally some of that humidity is coming out of the air, so still 27 degrees, but not sweltering hot or anything like that. We're not too far off the final destination, but 11.8 kilometers in, and I've just got a 10% warning. We are still showing 1 bar, so I'm not too stressed out. We should have a little bit of extra juice in there below 1 bar. The speed's still there as well. I'm on a hill right now, as you can see. Got up there, no dramas. Since we still got some speed there, I'm gonna really see what we can squeeze out of this battery. We're losing that throttle now, but I mean that torque, but we're still at 28 kilometers an hour at 1 bar, so been really impressed at the back end of this battery, that it's hung in there pretty well. So I'm glad I persisted even with the 10% voltage warning. I'll certainly ease off when we get to 0 bars. Just dropped down to 0 bars at 13.5 Ks, and our top speed in speed mode 3 is 13 kilometers an hour. So not far off the end destination now. If we lose too much more torque, I'm gonna have to jump off and walk. We're still at 10 Ks, so check in when we finish. I'll stop there since I am in a beautiful spot right next to the water. So it was maxing out at 8 kilometers there, so I could feel it was really getting to the back end of that battery, and I didn't want to push it to absolutely 0%. as that's never a good thing. So I'm going to press finish here on, I'll let that process in the background. So we did get down to 0 bars, and now it's showing 1 bar at 13.7 kilometers there. 1 second. Yeah, so we've got 13.4 kilometers there on Relive. I'll pop the final map up so you can see where we got to, and yeah, 13.7 on the board remote there, so 300 meters in that. Pretty happy with that based on, it said 19 Ks or 12 miles it was good for, but they were pretty clear about that on the page, being a 65 kilo rider riding at 25 kilometers an hour on average. So I think we probably did around 25 kilometers an hour, but yeah, I've got another 14 kilos on that ride. So I really love the board. You can't complain about the battery. There's another couple of options higher than this one. So if that really doesn't sound like it's enough mileage for you, you got another 2 options up from there. So I think that's really good that they provide 3 options. Certainly not all manufacturers do. Super comfortable. I didn't have to jump off on that whole ride either. So yeah, no foot fatigue, and for a short board that's really saying something. You don't always get so lucky, and yeah, my experience is on a Meepo Mini too, and yeah, I didn't find that board nearly as comfortable. The main difference there though is that that's a hub motor board too, so would recommend this board. Stay tuned for an actual in-depth review, and see you on the next one. See ya.